You're watching Manchester Headline News, our top story, speaking out against cuts to the widow's benefits. But first, the Tommy's Centre Park Super Sibling Award celebrates a big brother or sister who's proven wise beyond their years after the early arrival of their new baby brother or sister, who I think you can hear. And one young 6-year-old has won this award. Joining us in the studio now to tell us about his win is Adam with his mum Rachel and baby brother Hugo. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Well done. Congratulations, Adam. Tell me about winning that award.
It was really cool.
How long have you been dressing as a woman, and have you had any problems with society not accepting you?
A lot of problems with society not accepting me, but that's their problem. That's their world. I'm not clashing with. Although I'm clashing with their world, I'm out of it. I'm on my little journey.
It's hard to explain to a child that young what's happened, but we try to explain it in terms they'd understand. And
are you all right? We won't talk about this as we'd rather us not.
It makes you a bit sad, doesn't it, Adam? You know, when we talk about them, and it is sad because.
That would be brilliant. Do you know if any plans being made, or is there anything you're doing to try and make that happen?
This is what we're doing. We just have to keep playing, keep hoping that people like you, support us, put us right there in the face of the world to see what we're doing.
There's nothing available. Just have to take each day as it comes, which is hard, as you can see.
But is there like any support that can come from someone coming in just to do something that you don't have to manage it all?
There probably is, but Andy's a very proud man and wouldn't want another person to come in and look after him. For definite. True? True.
With so much care needed in the house, I double-checked whether Andy would have someone come and help if they could.
I wouldn't accept it, to be honest. I'll rather just carry on the way we are.
I suppose you can't see where your poppies are here, can you?
I can see mine. I just saw it. It was right here. I just noticed it. It said, there, that one.
Having the pub be so behind me is amazing, you know, and even when it's not to do with money, just the constant support and love of the community I have here is really special. The money that's raised enables me to continue with my physiotherapy, but not just that, there's always new technology coming out. So one of the things that I'm hoping to use the money for is there's a machine that gets you up and walking, essentially. I've tried the prototype, but obviously it's quite expensive to use that equipment. So hopefully this will enable me to keep doing that. It's been a long time since my accident. It's coming up 8 years in March. But the community here have just constantly been behind me. And when I had to have more operations this year and more time off work, they've just rallied around me and made sure that I know that I can stay in physiotherapy and I can keep going with those things. So it's just incredible, really. Like, I'm really humbled.
Dropped my son to the school in the morning. It was his birthday, so we said we'll celebrate in the evening. I said it will be all okay. But as soon as just a 15-month, I lost it. I fainted. When I opened my eyes, I was in the old handcuff in the hospital. Due to good behavior, I was released on tag, so which means I gave birth with the tag on. It's a most horrible place to be in. If I would have been pregnant, I would have killed myself. Eldest one kept my husband alive, and the youngest one kept me alive. Otherwise, there was nothing that going to prison and for the crime they never committed is like most horrible thing. I was proud of my family, but I was ashamed to tell people that He's my husband and they're my kids. I was trying to hiding myself when I came out as well. For the youngest one, we didn't celebrate any of his birthday till he was 8-year-old because we didn't want it, parents to come and say, oh yeah, she's Seema Misra. Unable to work, we lost everything. So we know that people are hiding the truth and all that. So it's just very painful. The fight is now to having actual culprit behind the bar. Definitely full and final compensation for each and every victim. So they need to put in a place they would have been if that post office scandal didn't happen. And more importantly, having a proper accountability to the actual culprit who were behind the scandal, each and every single person. Either it will be post office, Royal Mail, Fujitsu or the government. We need to put them behind the bar and put a system right that nobody's above law.
"35 years ago, shots rang out in the flat above Ambience Jewellers, and on the other side it was the pharmacy. 36-year-old Richard Hayward, known as Ricky, had been fatally wounded at close range. It was the biggest murder investigation of its time, and despite thousands of statements being taken by police, no one was ever charged. But now, 3.5 decades later, with advances in forensic science, Hampshire and the Isle of Wight Constabulary have reopened the case and are re-examining evidence. In 2004, Ricky's mum put up £100,000 reward for any information that would lead to knowing who killed her son and why. But no one ever came forward, and she died broken-hearted. Now, posters are up in Shirley, hoping that someone might remember something, someone who heard something, someone who saw something, someone who knew something, or maybe someone who knows something now. And Crime Stoppers have put up a reward for up to £20,000 for anyone that can give them exclusive information before the 31st of December that will lead to the arrest, the charge and the conviction of anyone responsible. In a statement issued by the police, Ricky's sister said, "My mum never had peace, and it slowly ate away at her. She went to her grave never knowing who committed this awful crime. We pray this new appeal will urge someone to come forward and, after all these years, find justice and closure." Shan Robbins, That's TV.
KSS want people to join a free half-hour online live stream, pre-recorded training session or in-person event so they know how to do bystander CPR and use a defibrillator.
To my shame, I'm 61 years old and I've never learnt how to do CPR. I've always been quite scared of it, and this was the thing that got me over the hump. It's such a simple thing to do, and I can appreciate that people think it's a bit scary or unpleasant or I don't want that responsibility, but I've been persuaded that there's nothing you can do wrong and all you can do is right. Once you throw yourself into it, it doesn't feel weird or unpleasant anymore, and I just feel like a more full, well-rounded human being, knowing how to perhaps potentially save someone's life when they have a heart attack.
80% of cardiac arrests happen while people are at home, and despite being able to get anywhere in the southeast in 30 minutes, the air ambulance team say it's not quick enough.
We know that for any delay in CPR, the chances of survival fall by 10% for every minute that CPR is delayed. The other key fact that we know about is that CPR and defibrillation together more than double the chances of someone's survival. So actually people doing these things before we arrive are really, really key for helping people in the southeast.
Having a tune in mind helps to pace the chest compressions and keep the CPR going until the professionals arrive.
You have to do 120 BPM, and as a DJ I was thinking, oh. So I was actually singing Good Times by Chic, doing the bass line of that, which gave me a nice little rhythm.
Shan Robbins, That's TV.
Thank you very much. That's all we've got time for. My very many thanks to today's guests, Stephanie Notosky, Katie Cornhill and Damilola Basuga. And the chat show returns in 2 weeks' time. Goodbye for now.